Stream is going, recording is going. All right, we're live. I have no idea if anyone's here. Probably not, because I just started this and no one just pops in. Um, so I'll wait like a half a second. Uh oh, I'm hearing echo.
Yeah, I had Twitch open, and I was like, oh, I could look and see if people are here. And I was like, oh no, I just hear him talking over himself.
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. I can't. I'm doing it on my Mac now, and they broke the chat thing, so I can't use. I have to have Twitch on a device somewhere, and so I got it on my phone, and so we'll see how that's going.
That's fun.
No one says they're in. It doesn't say anyone's here yet. I don't know how this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a luddite. I have no idea how any of this tech works.
No, dude, this is honestly what you just. The more you do it, like I mean, Ben just started doing the same kind of thing, just interviewing random people, and
Yeah,
just started from there.
yeah. It's
And he decided to go get married and stop talking to people.
it's what a foolish idea. Getting married. All right, I'm gonna. Hey, we got someone here. Hello, UG Atlas. I don't know who you are via that name, but you sound cool because you're here, and now we're not just talking to ourselves. Um, I'm here with Brad. I'm gonna give him a second to introduce himself. But first, I'm just gonna introduce the conversation. Oh, we got the echo again. Brad, don't,
No,
don't, don't play that stuff. All right. So I wrote an article about what I thought was the direction of the sport. Brad responded, and he said with some agreements and a couple of things that we should build on, and that turned into a little shit show, both privately and publicly. And so we decided we wanted to take a second and address that, where we're just gonna talk like homies and bullshit a little bit, instead of on the internet where we all get butthurt and defensive. I guess we're still on the internet. But you know what I'm saying. So Brad, why don't you introduce yourself both as a fighter and as sort of a person with experience in the entertainment industry?
So yeah, I'm currently fighting out of Las Vegas with the Las Vegas Jet Steelers. Been on the West Coast the entire time. Fight both Ace or back in the ACL, now ACS and HB. And really, the main reason why I started getting attention in this sport was my entertainment background. I was a event coordinator and event producer for Hollywood, working on shows like the Golden Globes was my highest job title. Even though I've done like the Oscars, Grammys, and Emmys, which are probably bigger shows, but I was highest on the food chain for the Golden Globes. And I've done TV shows, and I'm part of the making shows happen, and specifically shows that were had a live audience because there was an event going on, whether it be a concert, an award show, whatever it was. There was a live audience, and then we recorded it and put it on TV, just like sports, only scripted, right? So that's kind of where when Night Fight came up, I tried interjecting myself a whole lot about like, hey, I know these guys. Like, I see a couple like the guy running the jib camera. I see him at the bagel shop in Hollywood. Like, you know, I like we should be talking. And nothing really came of that. And Night Fight went its way and did its course. And so when
R.I.P. Night Fight.
yeah, all right. But like, and that was one of the frustrating things was we finally had that that media that we all think we need to be famous and big and popular and get our word out to the world. We had that moment, and we sort of shit the bed on a lot of aspects. And so that's when I really started getting involved, and like, that's kind of where. And now they moved me out to Las Vegas to do the events out here because there's more events with audiences out in Las Vegas than anywhere else in the country. Once again, unfortunately, due to Corona, there's no audience anywhere.
Fuck you, 2020.
Yeah, yeah, all those nice contracts and deals, you've been spending a year working on, you're just like, oh, I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
um. So also, you are a member of the ACS board and the HMB board, right? I'm not.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in addition to the background, you're also involved with basically, in my opinion, the two main organizations. I guess the W still exists, but who cares? Pew pew.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get our shots in.
Yeah. I love you guys, but I'm sorry, I hate Andre, and therefore I hate your organization. But I love all of you. If you fight, you're my boy or my girl or my non-binary person. But yeah, but if you are Andre,
Yo, like the whole that no, but just on that, it's so funny because this weekend I went out to I Dixon was fighting in that backyard ghetto night fight thing, and I was like, screw
uh,
it. I just sold a bunch of my TI armor to Santos, and I was like, screw it. I'll just come up there, give you the armor, and hang out and watch your backyard night fight.
dope.
And for the second time since the split, I have heralded and like emceed for an ACW event. Like I show up and they're like, "Yo, you should be the one talking to the crowd."
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
"Hey, I'm like the most banned person,
I
right?"
was gonna say, aren't you on the ban list? Oh, fucking.
At his
Oh,
Ren
we're back.
Fair.
We're back. We're back. Okay.
Oh,
I lost you for
but
a second.
yeah, it was great. Like at Lance's event, I was like, "Yeah, you guys are watching the Armored Combat Worldwide. You can find them there. You won't find me, but you'll find them."
All right. I'm gonna take a second to say hi to the people in the chat. What up, Valis? What up, Nick? What up, Mikey? Lance? And Chris. It looks like. Sorry, Land. I'll get to your texts tomorrow because I'm gonna go to bed after this stream. So whatever the fuck you texted me about, you're not gonna hear back. I'm sorry. I'm not actually that sorry. All right. So about this whole thing, I wrote a big article. It got probably more attention than anything I've fucking written, which is weird. Well, maybe it's not weird because it's clickbait, and I guess clickbait does work. But like, I thought it was very obvious troll clickbait, and apparently didn't. Other people didn't find it that way. You agreed with some of my main points, which was that as a sport, we are hard to sell. Right? Did I take that correctly?
100,000,000%. Like, absolutely. I have failed more at that than anything I've ever failed at in my life.
Um, so
Just try to the sport.
my takeaway from that was that we should stop trying to sort of deal with established leagues and just build our own shit. And it will be small, and we'll build our own media, and we can do that. And eventually, we'll get an audience. Someone likened it to roller derby. You had a counter that you think the way forward is Ren Fair. So I'm gonna give you some time to try and expound on that.
Well, it wasn't. They wasn't. See, that's where the
Well, okay,
conversation
yeah, yeah.
led.
So this is
I
not,
was like, "Oh fuck, this went the wrong way."
yeah.
So I 100% agree with you. We are hard to sell as a modern athletic sporting activity for
Yo,
like
hold on
a
one sec.
modern.
Hold on one sec. Are we frozen? I think the stream died. Can you check on your end? Fuck. Maybe we'll get
I
the
mean,
echo, but I'm okay
I
with
mean,
it.
no, like, it looks like the video's still rocking.
All right. Cool. All right. Nope. It was just
No,
one
it's
guy.
me.
One guy in the chat, and no one responded to him for a minute, so I freaked out. I guys, I don't understand how streaming works. I'm a luddite. I'm sorry. You were on a good rant, and I stopped it. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, you're fine. You're fine. I can pick up real quick. So uh, like 100%, we are hard to sell. And the really frustrating thing about like how we're hard to sell as a modern athletic sporting pursuit is that in the one industry that we should kind of have freaking cornered, we're also hard to sell. And that's the Ren fairs and the reenactments and the medievalist type stuff.
I agree with
And
that.
that was where my frustration was I was like, yo, we suck on
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Like we don't make the football players happy and we don't make the reenactors happy. Like the
Right.
the kids that grew up and wanted to watch knights like fight because they watch Hollywood movies are like, yo, these guys like are drooling and just sweating a bunch. like that they told me to go talk to this guy, and all he wants me to do is hit him in the head with a sword and drools on himself. And then on this end, all the MMA fighters and boxers and like legit like I get punched in the face people are like, yeah, I guess this is cool. Like you dented some shit. Like we don't.
Right.
My things we don't work on either.
Right. No, I agree with that. And it got lost in the shuffle because Facebook's a fucking horrible communication medium. I what my thought was is that we need to. That's the way I thought. That's the way little clubs should go. And you seem to have more success at this, so I'll give you a chance to speak on that in a second. But like when we were first coming up and the night hall was super small, we hit little rent fairs everywhere. And we didn't get a lot of success, but what it did do is it gave us places to fight in armor, it gave us reasons to fight, and it built a little bit of word of mouth so people could be like, oh, I've heard of that, and we could get to our core audience. Um, but
Oh, now you did.
I did freeze? Am I
You're
back?
cool now.
Oh, good. So yeah, what I was saying is we like that got us so that we could eventually get to our core audience, but we didn't really make much out of that. Maybe we get small paydays. So I think that's the way for like little clubs that are coming up. That's where you go like, hey, I got 3 fighters. Yeah, try to get your local Ren Fair to fucking put you on and fucking pay for your food, in your hotel. But you actually said you landed some contracts. Is that correct? Did I catch that right?
Yeah, like we were talking to some pretty like you know I wasn't gonna fuck Andre, but like his whole like tour idea, like yo, dude, like you understand like jousting troops do tours throughout the country for rent fairs, and like they do this business model. There
The
is a group.
competition jousters or the show jousters?
So from what I've seen is they're kind of one and the same.
Okay.
It's usually comes down to what a fair will pay for, right?
Okay.
So like you've got your guys that yo, we're just gonna put on armor and we're gonna almost freaking die for 40 people. You know,
Right.
go lay down.
Us.
I'm gonna get
Us.
stabbed in the chest at 40 miles an hour because there's 17 dudes in the audience who like this shit. They pay $20 to come into a park, right? Um, so there's those guys. But then what I've also seen is that when a fair is kind of hurting on money, it's like, well, look, I'm not gonna risk getting brained and breaking my spine falling off a horse for like the bare minimum, but we can still chop apples off of a pell and like do our staged jousting where behind the scenes we all agree we're only going to hit the shield. Like, we're all
Oh
going
yeah.
to, we don't tell the audience that. And so they scale their performance based off what they're getting paid to do and kind of the clout they're going to get from it. And the thing is, like, I look at, when it comes to, and see, here's the thing is it comes to money, right? There's a lot of ways to grow the sport and be popular and be seen and be famous. But how do you monetize that? How do you actually put money in fighters' pockets? And to illustrate that, I actually found a phenomenal Instagram post today. So before getting into the steel fighting world, I was a competition shooter. Right, I used to travel all over the country shooting 3-gun, IPSC, and IDPA, and it could not pay the bills. Like you got sponsorships for days, but it's hard to pay the actual competitors until you're like top 50, top 100, right?
Okay.
In the whole country.
Right.
So I found a post by a guy I used to shoot against sometimes, Casey Usbio, who just won the world championship speed shooting competition, set a bunch of national records, and he's got less than 500 likes on Instagram with this one post. And you got to think this dude is now arguably one of the best pistol shooters in America, where we have more guns than anything else. Shooting sports is a massive $1 billion industry, right? It's all over movies, it's all over TV. Everybody's got guns. Everybody follows all the super slick 3-gunner dudes on Instagram and all the gun bunnies at SHOT Show.
Hold on, for those of us who are just getting into our gun addiction. What is 3-gun?
So 3 guns is a type of competition where you use. your three primary weapon systems: a rifle, a pistol, and a shotgun. And you basically run like an obstacle course, light on the obstacles because most of us are fat, but uh, you run an obstacle course and you shoot different targets at different setups and different ranges, and then you switch from a shotgun to a pistol to a rifle, and it's all based off speed and accuracy, and it's kind of the gold standard for like a competition shooter because you can't obviously shoot people, so you know.
Right. But what if
But
we
anyways, like
could?
I was just scrolling through and I saw this today, and I was like, "Yo, this dude basically just won it all."
Mhm.
Like he did it in the country where if you were gonna do a shooting sport and make it big, like this is gonna be the country to do it. If and you're gonna do it with the shooting sport, like yo, we spend more money on guns than we do like, football and baseball. Like that's a you guys wish you guys would spend the money that Americans do on guns, right? And I guarantee, like anybody that watches this stream probably doesn't know who Casey is, right? Like here's the thing, Casey is BO. You know, I'm probably talking about somebody we don't know anything about. And from my point of view, like, yo, this has way better potential to grab American audiences than even what we do. And yet he's struggling. Like, it's not a. So just as an example, like I just saw it today and I was like, shit, like I'm going to talk about this. And here's a sport that has all of the aspects going for it, right? It's got guns, it's got movement, it's got sponsors, it's thing. Like we've got the violence, we've got accidents, we've got knockouts, we've got broken bones, we've got like brutality. Like we have all these things going for us, but we fucking you know. So like and that's the frustration. Is it comes down to putting money in your pocket, right? Like there's shooters that shoot, they get free ammo, they get free scopes, free guns, but how many of them are getting their mortgages paid
I
and
mean,
their
but that's the thing is I don't know that like you're saying like those shooters aren't getting their mortgages paid. I don't know that we're ever going to get to that and not in our lifetimes at least. I don't think. I just want my armor paid for. Can we get to the point where my armor gets paid for? That's what I want. Like I'm literally paying someone else to make their armor so they'll also make my armor at this point. So like,
wait, what?
well, Mikey's buying titanium, but really I'm buying titanium, and so that he's gonna make Ti armor for
Oh,
me. But like,
gotcha.
in
I
order
was
for
like,
it,
yo, this
yeah.
is an
So
arrangement.
I'm doing the opposite of of being sponsored. Um, and like, and that's the thing is I don't like that's the level I want us to get to next. Is where the people that we're getting our top level dudes and our mid level dudes basically, especially because we're so far apart, right? Like this was the problem back with the ACL, and honestly with HMB, and hopefully when COVID comes out with the growth we've seen, it won't be as big a problem. But like, if I have to fly across the country 3 times to get good fights, that's like fuck. That's a $1,500. Like I don't, and then and I just paid armor, and let's be real, I'm gonna drink when we go somewhere, so that's another $100, and then we're gonna get good food, so that's another $100, and then I'm probably gonna get a hotel room because I'm not really good at picking up strange on the sly, so that's a couple $100. Like like this, just the travel is fucking expensive. Add the fucking weapons, add the training gear, add the training, right? Like you got to pay for a gym membership, and you probably can't be Planet Fitness. like, um, so I want that's like you're talking about putting money back in fighters' pockets, and I'm about it. Let's do it, but I don't think we're paying anyone's mortgage. And like, are we even paying our refs yet?
Oh, dude, like I don't even get paid. Like no one's getting paid. Like what are you talking about, bro? I put in 80 hours a week in this. I don't even get paid.
That's what I'm saying. So like, so
So let's talk about sponsorships, right?
right.
So in like my background as a tutor, sponsorships come from the manufacturers, and until we get an armorer cranking out mass produced armor in the United States on the regular in every section of the country, like it just good luck finding a Ukrainian or Russian or European armorer to like, oh no, you wear my logo, I give you suit of armor.
Yeah.
Like that's
Probably
never gonna.
probably a no-go. And
Yeah.
like, but even the armorer guys here are like, a lot of them are struggling. But this, what the people like who I do think make a lot of money are the sword makers, particularly the ones who do like those fucking replica swords that like fucking all the Hema dudes love, and then just sword collectors. So like, if we could get them to make sports swords, which some of them might, I don't fucking know. I like buy all my shit from Bowhurt people, but like those people, like they have some money. They might be down to throw some fucking cash. You'd be like,
Well,
yeah,
so here's the thing, man. It's kind of, and this we talked about this offline a little bit, and it's lying. We need to lie more. We as an industry are way
all right,
way too fucking honest.
all right,
So say you got a guy who makes custom swords, sharp blades, like a true sword, not sports sword. They make
right, right.
swords,
They make swords
and
for.
he's charging $3,000 a sword or something,
Alright,
whatever it is, right?
I
Great.
think it's a
I
grand.
don't need him. I don't own swords. Like I buy guns. I don't know. Like all my swords are Boohurt
I
swords.
want things that can yeet. I want to hit you from
Yeah,
distance.
yeah. Like, dude, as much like martial fighting as this is, like in real life, I fight like this. Like I Indiana Jones that shit because I'm fat and slow. Like without without a suit of armor on, like yo, I'm squishy as shit. Like face hurts. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but it's not fun. So I don't play that game anymore. But anyway, so you have the sword maker, and he makes real swords. Well, instead of trying to get, hey man, you should get into the market of making Boohurt swords because I know 500 fighters in the United States that would buy your Boohurt swords if you just started cranking these out, right? Well, no, just make one sword for me, and then when I go to events and when I go on TV or online or I'm making a video, like I just have one of your swords that's sport related, but then I just pimp your brand entirely.
Right.
Oh no, when I walk around and take photos, I'm wearing a sharp sword. I'm wearing the nice one, the gold one. You know, I'm when I'm fighting, it's not like because we're when you're trying to just sell to guys inside your sport, you quickly run out of people to buy your shit. And
Right.
this is something once again straight from the gun industry, right? You don't get sponsored by Leupold because Leupold really makes the best scopes. Now, for like military use and law enforcement use and actual like great, Leupold might be up there, but I'm trying to win in a speed shooting match. Maybe Vortex or something else is my company to go to. I'm not using this product because I'm trying to sell the best competition scope. I'm just trying to sell the name that anybody with a gun would buy from,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So, we gotta start twisting the way we sell ourselves, twisting the way we look at things. Because if we're just trying to get people in the sport to buy stuff, we're gonna run out of like money instantly. Like, there's only so many guys that are doing this. So, like, if I tell everybody to go buy this one sword brand, cool, everybody goes and buys that. All right, we're out of revenue now. Like everybody that would buy has bought.
Yeah.
Oh, but then the money I just made, well, you told me, hey, we're gonna go buy titanium from Mikey, right? I'm like, oh, I'm in. Now the money I just made from swords, it goes to Mikey, and then someone else is making helmets, and all the money just kind of circles throughout our community.
Yeah, which
We
is
want,
great. Then everyone grows together. Isn't that the velocity of money increases and we all get
oh yeah,
the
is
faster the
that
money goes, that creates a higher GDP within armored combat.
the
That's
problem?
my what I remember from my Econ 101 class.
Yeah, see, I've thought about that too. The problem is PayPal is going to charge you $3 every time, and after 100 transactions, you're out of money.
That's why we
So,
all gotta switch to Bitcoin. Armored Combat needs to switch to Bitcoin. Crypto is the
yo,
future.
hey, we could, yo, absolutely. So,
um, I mean, I have personal issues with that. Not like as in like I think it's a bad idea. As in I don't like doing it, and I'm not good at it, and I just which is not to say like we as a sport shouldn't. But this is a me as me saying Ringo's not. He's definitely not in on this plan. Um, because I just like I don't know. For me, the idea is sell your brand as you as just be honest to yourself, and that's what I think builds the sport and draws people in, but and not just to fight. Like I think that's what draws some fans. I think one of the big problems we have is that we haven't figured out a way of capitalizing on return fans. Like that's what I want. I want the people who are like they saw it once and they're like I want to go watch that again. And then they have to be like remember that it's coming to the festival a year later. Like no one remembers that. Fucking they're going to be on Twitter in 5 minutes and be like, "Ooh, look, this dog is licking itself. That's what I'm into now. Dogs that lick themselves." um
that's probably a so much better genre on Twitter than we are. Like, I
dude,
guarantee you.
Twitter. We are dead on Twitter. We're dead on Twitter. I tried to make it. I don't know if we're still dead, but like 2 years ago, I tried to make a Twitter account, and there was no Bohurt anywhere. I searched everything. I searched Battle of the Nations. I searched HMB. I searched Armor Knights. Twitter is a dead zone for us. I don't know why.
Dude, Twitter's garbage. Like, I don't use Twitter.
I
Like,
don't either. I don't think anyone in our sport does. But like, I keep seeing people are like, Twitter's the place to be, and I'm like, all right, no, it's not. Nothing I like is on here. Um,
let's see.
but no, I just like one of the big things is how do we find retention, right? Right, that whole idea of, you know, once you get a customer, like make that customer for life. Um, and I don't think we figured out how to do that yet.
Okay, so once again, like, and here's kind of where I come back to actually trying to pitch the medievalist.
Oh
You know,
fuck!
on
Oh, he tricked
yeah,
me. He tricked me.
yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so who in the United States makes a living wearing a suit of armor? Kind of like just visually doing what we do. Who makes a living doing that? Like, where if you wanted to see a knight, where could you go to see knights?
That place where you get the turkey, where they put a crown on your head and you get the turkey leg and they joust. Not the Ren Fair, but the other thing.
Medieval times.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have our version out here in Vegas called Tournament of Kings. Same shit, just different name, right? So you also go to Ren fairs if you want to see this shit. That's where you would, if you knew nothing about what we did, you don't even know we exist, but you just want to see a night. There are places to go. Now, I use medieval times all the time as a great example because they pay salaries, they pay livelihoods. Now they've got half a dozen locations across the country. They do shows every weekend. Some of the locations even do weekday shows. They're putting asses in seats, and for as bullshit of a show as it is, and as bullshit as the armor is, like, dude, they're riding around in motorcycle helmets a lot of the time. Like, it's a motorcycle helmet with like taped Mandalorian visors.
Oh god.
It's bad. But like, yeah, hold on, like people don't give a shit. They're like, oh, he's got a sword. Eat my turkey and drink my beer. It's my birthday. Yeah, like no one gives a shit, right? But
Man, that sounds like one of my friends. Like that's literally like a dead on that fucking impression.
hey, it
Oh.
sounds like a fun friend. I drink with him, especially if he thinks like, yo, I'll show you a real helmet. Oh, I'd be so cool. So I use this as an example a lot because here's a successful business model, right? When we're talking about this kind of stuff, like you got to sort of look at who your competition is, who's doing it right, where is the success in our industry coming from? Ren fairs and medieval times are kind of the best examples of successes because you have the jousters that are making money every time they show up, touring the country, getting to fight all over the place, having their stuff paid for. They're getting more TV shows than we do. I mean, shit, they've had 3 or 4 TV shows in like the last 3 years where we had Night Fight, right? There was Tilt, Knights of Mayhem.
No, he's just those two.
There was one other one. Whatever it was, I saw it on like Amazon Prime. I scroll past because we're boring. But
We're-
anyway, but like we, it's you watch one dude get knocked off a horse, you're like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen the next time a guy gets knocked off a horse. Oh, he did it again. He got knocked off. Oh yeah, that looks like it sucks. Okay,
yeah,
next
I
episode.
I gotta say,
Yo,
jousting I feel like is way worse than us.
oh,
But
100%. Like I
go.
think what we do is hard. I don't want to do that.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's scarier, but also way boring. It's way more risk for way less cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. I see that. I'm like, yo, I'd rather just take a foul shin to the booty. Like
Any
that
day.
sucks for a week or two, but yo, that guy just like he's got a lazy eye now. Like, he's got a drifter. Like yo, uh, so so I use these examples about guys that are making money because it's a proven method, right? Like if I right
Yeah.
now here in Las Vegas, they've got 2 nights where they don't do a show for that Tournament of Kings show, and people come to Las Vegas, right? That's why I moved here, is because I saw a successful business model and I figured, yo, I could steal this shit. Like I can put my boys in their place because this show's been around for over 20 years, almost 30 years. That's 30 years of people showing up to a place, spending their hard-earned dollars to watch a medieval show. They wanna see that typical trope. The Knight's Tale, they want to see the just they want to see some knights, right? And that's 30 years. Millions of people, millions and millions of people have seen that show. Why not us? Right? I kick out the jousters. I kick out the squires running around with flags. I kick out all the people that aren't booher fighters. I kick out the fake king and queen. You know, heavy on the alcohol sales, heavy on the booze sales, and we do real fighting. MMA is popular. People like full contact stuff. Like, why can I not steal this market? But there are certain tropes, and this is what I was trying to say on the group, that went way out of
That
hand that
went
people expect to see.
right.
And the problem is like when I've done like, cause you said this is a way for like local guys to grow and build. Is doing rent fairs is great for small guys. And the feedback I've gotten from that, from the events, from the venues, is they're like, "Yo, the fighting was awesome. That was great. You know, maybe next time we'll give you somebody to MC. Maybe next time, we'll find some dancers to do some stuff in between your fights. Maybe next time we'll get some ring girls or whatever." Like, I get feedback from these venues and these guys that see our show, right?
Hmm.
We call it a competition, but ultimately we're putting on a show. The audience is paying to see entertainment.
Right.
MMA is a show, UFC is a show, boxing is a show. They're all shows.
Right.
They're all real competitions. They're all valid, you know. But there's a certain level of showmanship. Like, dude, UFC, how much of the time when you're about to watch a fight are they just sitting there talking shit? Just they're doing their showmanship,
Right.
right? I've met these guys in person. I used to teach Fabricio Verdon how to shoot. One of the heavyweights. He's not like that. That ain't him. He's a nice guy. But you know what? He's got to sell to all the dipshits sitting around the country on their couch, eating their potato chips, like, oh yeah, man, he's gonna knock his ass out because he's mad because he said you fat, like, you know, like there's a showmanship and
Sure.
it's fake as fuck, but they have to do it because it's profitable, and that was my whole thing that kind of got taken out of context. Was like, yo, just fucking wave to the crowd, go like play sport with a kid, bow, fucking bow.
I'm
Like
not. I bow.
Sam, like,
I kneel to no man. I kneel to.
great, stay poor, like dude, like Samurai, right? Sam, Sam from Seattle, like he's got his plumes and he does his little sword and bow and yo, they eat it up. He gets pussy for days. They love it. Girls throw panties at the man. He goes to other tournaments across the country and like their fighters
Yeah,
just fangirl over him.
yeah, because he's also super attractive.
Okay, I mean, yeah, is that the only difference between me and him? Because I bow.
Yo,
Is
Chris,
that why?
don't you call me out for bowing all the time. Fuck you, Chris. I've
Dude,
never
I was
once
like,
bowed. That's never happened. These are lies. There's zero footage. Sorry. I'm addressing the chat. People are talking shit. I don't.
oh, I haven't even looked at the chat. I should probably read this stuff. I've been talking too much.
Yeah,
You do.
people keep like bringing up stuff, and then like I keep trying to like butt in like, oh, they said this, but then we're like 3 conversations later, so I'm like, ah.
Yeah, they're actually like responsive. Yo, you do some talking. I'll catch up.
All right, so I'm gonna partially play the devil's advocate and also play my own advocate on this. So yeah, like we definitely want to try and get that other audience, the people who want to see the Ren fairs, who want to fucking just see people in armor, and there is some showmanship to it, but like a lot of us, like how do we keep the people who don't want to do that? Do we just say like, no, bro, you have to do it? Because like it's easy to incentivize the people who want to make this a living to do it, but that's like 21-year-olds like Mikey. Um, but like those of us who fucking like that was me 5 years ago. 5 years ago, sold. I'm 25. I don't have any fucking. I'm in a dead end job. I'm like fuck it. You're giving me a chance to make slightly less money, but like be a knight. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. But like now I have a real fucking career. I'm not gonna fucking take a fucking, you know, multiple like a huge fucking pay cut to just like go fucking tell people, my lady, my lord. Like, if all it is fucking talking shit like Conor McGregor, maybe I can do that because I can get drunk, and that works, right? Like, you can just get drunk and talk shit, but like, if we, sorry, COVID caught me. This is the last stream. I'm dying today, guys. The COVID's. Um, I'm sorry. That's a shitty joke. That's not funny. I'm sorry. That's all right. We're gonna move on. Anyway, like my point is just
I
sort of like how do we do both, right? So like the one of the things that we've discussed at the Night Hall is having two separate things, right? We have our shows and we have our fight shows. But like is that your idea of of how to do it, or do you have another?
yeah. And see, that's where like that chat kind of got way off the rails because I'm not saying one or the other. It was why not both?
Well, yeah,
Like
but how
we have to support both,
I
right?
agree. I agree with that. As an organization, as a sport, as a community, as organizations, we have to support both. But like, how?
All right, so here's one of my big pitches, and one of the things that I've been trying to work on here is like I said, this Las Vegas idea. Like I want to put them out of business, right? That's my goal. I want to steal their fans. I want to steal their money. I want to take whatever they've built and just tweak it, improve upon it, make it a little bit more of an adult show, more alcohol, for sure, more violence because that's big here in Vegas, right?
Is it?
We're a very pro fight city. It's one of our main draws. So now
Okay.
imagine I put on this show. I hire a couple good dudes who can say the Verilies and the Art Vows, and they can People walk out with their
Right.
flags,
You
and
hire
we do.
six samurais.
Yeah, we just do the bare minimum around a normal tournament to
Okay.
make people follow. Well, we don't have to like we could just call teams whatever they want. All right, hey, this week we have Texas flying out. Great, we have Team Texas, and then we get teams from wherever in the country we get teams from.
Okay.
People see that show. Oh, now there's a following. Like these are all over the place. We start stealing that medieval times business model, right? Where look, here's a venue. The Knights Hall is a venue. They fight there every day. Warlord Academy is a venue. They've got a spot to fight. They're there. We start tying into all these venues through each other, and you use. I mean, like it all works off each other. You go to a Ren Fair, you're boosting your local team because most people that go to those things are locals. It's all locals. That's really just a local draw. You're not going to get any international fans. You're not going to get any national fans. No one big's really going to show up and find you at a Ren Fair.
Right.
It's your neighbors. It's the guys down the street that are going to find you.
Right.
And however, and that's the challenge, man. And like I said, I've failed at it more than anyone else has, trying to
All
figure out how to.
right. Yeah, yeah. How to marry the two, and it's fucking hard, bro. I do think that like getting fucking venues is. I think you're right. That's the key. And I do think one of the things that the Knights saw, and we've struggled with, is we don't have enough room to make it an experience. And Jay's been wanting to do it. He's fucking he's biting at the bit or whatever that fucking phrase is.
No, that's right.
But like we just haven't managed to fucking get able to make that next step. But like if we can get that experience, I do think it's doable. But like I don't know how you. So like Lamb brought this up in the chat, right? Vegas idea. How many nights a week can people fight? Are you bringing 8N? I don't know what that means. Away teams every night. So like we can't fight every day. That shit's fucking. You can't do that, bro.
So, luckily our reach in this community is pretty short. So I'm not going to get in a whole lot of trouble for saying this, but like,
Oh, yo,
you
shit,
know,
shit. No one,
yeah,
no one talk about this. It's definitely not
it,
getting posted. I'm gonna
yeah,
bleep this part out.
no, it's not that big of a deal. It's just one of those things where it's like insider information, right? So, I've seen their numbers. Like, I know how much they make. Their average ticket sales are, their expenses, and a lot of the things around the show is what I did for a living. I threw shows in Las Vegas, like for that company, the parent company, right? Like,
Right.
I know a lot of the numbers, and it's not unfeasible if I just get rid of the stupid horses because they're expensive for no goddamn reason. Just
They
I
eat a
get rid of the
lot.
horse,
They eat a
dude. They
lot.
do everything. Their medical bills are outrageous. Like, you mean I need to have four veterinarians on retainer for $120,000 a piece a year?
Oh
Fuck
shit.
off!
Yeah. Yo, can we
Like,
get one doctor on retainer, right?
dude, like I'm just glad we have dudes that marry nurses. Like,
Right? Yo, shout outs to Danny Sean. Thank you for your EMT work and any other EMTs who've shown up. Jocelyn, shout outs. I don't know who else, but shout outs if you've
wait,
saved anyone's life on the field.
Jason Jason Perdo's wife, like we were doing a going away party for me, and I broke John McIntyre's hand. They just drove back to his house. His wife just like popped it back into place and bandaged it, and they came back to the party. Like, yo, uh, significant others in the medical field, money.
All right, so what I'm hearing, my big takeaways from this is everyone needs to get a shitty English accent, a plume.
No,
No, no, these are the takeaways. A plume, and you need to, if you don't already
or
have a relationship, start dating someone in the medical industry. And if you have
Yeah,
a
so far,
relationship, you need to open your relationship and start dating someone in the medical community.
so
Those
far
are
that's
the three
pretty on,
takeaways. What? Sorry?
so far that's pretty on point.
Yeah.
Like back to the paying for it, right? And the how many fighters a week? Like eight-man teams. You know, uh, let's see. I think I was figuring out to 16, 32. Yeah, I was thinking like originally like six-ish teams on a regular basis. 6 to 8 is a pretty decent, nightly show thing. And dude, for the money that they just spend on horses, right? The money they just spend on all their other silly expenses, right? Because those are actors. They're not fighters. They've got like unions that are protecting them. So like, oh no, they need to pay this actors guild
Right.
X amount of money to be in, right?
Right.
They need to pay for all this other nonsense because it's a it's a massive corporation. There's a lot of expenses that we will not have nor will need for a long time. And by then, I'm talking about a very financially lucrative
Right.
company
Right.
that can afford it.
If those are the problems you want to have, I believe is the.
Yeah, well, just starting like it's not like based just off revenue and ticket sales and what their current costs are versus their current expenditures. It's insane that we can't do this.
Okay.
Like I could easily pay with it, like if we built a venue right next door and said real fighting, real nights, not actors, more alcohol, blackjack and hookers, right? And
Yo.
we stole their audience. I could pay 40 dudes $50,000 a year off of some of the revenue they make
All right. But
yearly.
all right. So I mean, that's.
40
I hear what you're saying on terms of like getting the revenue. So like, let's say we solve that. We get enough advertising. We get the place. We get all of that. But like, 40 dudes can't fight every night, bro.
No, 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 no. You would have to just live here. That's 40 dudes that would live here.
So who? So
That's not even including flights per diem and room for like what you could pay. Like, say I'm going to give you X amount of dollars per weekend of non-local
yeah. Well, so
talent.
so like, I mean, my question on that is like, what are we talking? If you're setting up a venue, how often are you doing shows? What are you thinking?
Friday, Saturday.
Okay, it's a 2 shows a week. That's doable. That's fucking doable. All right, I'm back in. You sold me. I'm back in.
And so one of the big things that you'll see with a lot of the European venues, where they're not necessarily uh, uh, mostly like gyms and some of the other like actual full time training facilities, is they have guys on retainer or they have fighters on salary, and then during the weekdays they're doing classes for everyone else.
Yeah.
During the middle parts in between their actual jobs, they're doing other things. There's a lot of other stuff to do.
Yeah, man. I mean,
There's more ways to make money
that's
doing.
why, like, I think the Knights Hall and the Warlords are like the framework, right? It's
Yeah,
the you make a school and then you host some fucking events, and what we just haven't put together is that experience aspect of it, right? Like we don't have a Joe Rogan, right? Like I guess the HMB, they think they have their announcer. I don't. He's all right, but like I don't think he's a Rogan. We don't have,
he doesn't do enough DMT.
what?
He doesn't do enough DMT.
That's the problem right there. All right, so that's the
I
fourth. Thank you for bringing it in. I knew it was coming up. I knew it was coming. Check mark 4.
That
All fighters, you need a fake shitty English accent, a plume,
flew
a medical partner, and DMT.
do
That
way more DMT.
way more DMT. That's what's gonna make this happen. Um. Oh, also, someone's asking about how's the insurance on doing shows? That it's not. It's the same insurance we got now, right? Like we don't have to fucking step that up, or do we?
I mean, once again, everything will scale because the second you start making money, all of a sudden new regulations will pop up out of the woodwork and be like, "Oh, by the way, we heard you guys made $2 million last year. That means now you need this kind of bullshit like
Right.
that."
Right.
But once again, it's this is all stuff that isn't like it's not undoable because there are full contact fighting organizations and
Name
there
two.
are
Name two. I dare you.
full contact fighting organizations.
Yeah.
Boxing,
That's not an
like,
organization. That's a sport.
well, okay, fine. Okay, what are they called?
Sorry, I'm just
Wow,
I'm
I know
drunk right
so
now.
little
I'm just
about like I know so little about traditional sports. I was like, fuck, I just did it for boxing. I don't even know what the league is called.
no one does. No one knows. There's like 1,000 leagues in boxing. No one knows what they are. I bet if you asked fucking Floyd Mayweather, like, what champion are you? He wouldn't even know. He'd just be like, the heavyweight champion. Is he even heavyweight? I don't. I don't.
Dude, we want to be a sport. Hey, guys, how do sports work? I think I just found our actual problem.
Yeah. All
None of
right. All right.
us.
Yeah.
Yo,
You nailed it. Takeaway number 5. Everyone needs to go watch more football.
like, oh fuck,
We need to
like,
watch ESPN daily, bro.
and legitimately the only reason I know UFC and the way the UFC works is because I worked for like their events. Like I was there, I had to like sit there and watch it. Otherwise, I would know fuck all about that. Like, oh god, yeah, yeah. So where were we at? Fucking sports
DMT.
ball. Sports ball. We should like that's the problem. We spend all this time and money on like communication devices. If you just smoke DMT right now and I smoke DMT right now, we could both just be talking to each other through the ether. Like, I don't know why we're wasting time on Twitch.
It's a because that we'd have to get everyone else to do like a group like in the whole league to take DMT at the same time. We'd have to sync it up. It's a
Yeah,
whole
good,
thing.
good.
It's good, good. Let's
Yeah,
do this. All right.
I'll talk to Jay and Brennan. It'll be the new section of our rule set. You know, section D.M.T 10.02. I'll make it
Mondays.
happen.
Mondays 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Everyone lights a bowl.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'll just
Take a big ass bong rip and let's just sit down. All right.
guys. We really just need to ask the machine elves how to solve this fucking problem. Like
That's
that's
all right. That's
they
it.
have the answer.
That's it. That's it.
But and dude, like so my whole thing about the Vegas venue is a very high expense, high investment thing. It's going to take years to get to that level. You're absolutely right. These all take years and takes time. And kind of went off on a tangent. It's just there's a lot of ways to grow the sport, and ultimately, I'm kind of with you. I think there are two types of fighters, and we have two types of audiences, and we have two goals. And the real struggle is trying to figure out how to tie them together loose enough where we're all the same community and
Yeah.
not a totally separate entity.
Yeah.
And yet we can build off each other because, there's guys like you that are fighting to compete and, or that's a shitty, I don't know how to say this. Like,
So no, yeah. I see it as there's 3 types of fighters.
well,
There's the guys and girls who just want to be fucking good. And like they don't care about kit at all. They don't care about historicity. They don't care about the looks. They don't care about any of that bullshit. That's we show up. We want to kick ass. We want to go home. Then there's your people who just want to be in armor. In general, these are the people who want to also look good. They care mostly about historicity or at least fucking aesthetics. Some of them don't. Some just are like, I'm having fun in armor. But like, most of them are like, I wanted to be a knight and look and act the part of a knight. I want to like wear garb afterwards. They want the SCA, but not all of the bullshit that comes with being in the SCA, and they don't really want to LARP. They just want to put on armor and fight. Right? They don't want to take it fully, but they want that half LARP experience. And then there's this middle ground of people who want to do both, who want to look fucking pretty, who want to look accurate, and want to kick all the ass. So that's how I see it. So we got those are the three types of fighters. You got your sport
Yeah,
fighter. Your yeah, go.
no, I'm right there with you. Like maybe two or three. I mean, I would combine the second two together, where it's like, yo, I'm doing like this because I'm wearing a medieval suit of armor to compete the way that, like, I don't want it to be staged. I don't want to choreograph. Like, I really want to compete in a medieval tournament. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Well, I think that's everyone like in the sport wants to fight, right? We all want to fight. We all want to be fighters.
yeah,
We're not trying to be reenactors. I think that's the big
yeah,
thing. We don't want to be the WWE of armor. But
yeah. And see,
like
that's the two communities that we need to figure out how to marry a little better. Is we all don't want to do stage fighting. We all don't want to dial it back. We want to compete honestly. We want to truly test our skills against someone else. We want there to be a winner and a loser. We want to earn our wins. We want to fight, and compete. But there's the guys that are like, the only reason I'm fighting in a combat method that has been 500 years extinct and irrelevant, versus guys that are like, no, this is a super modern sport. It's the most brutal thing ever. That's the joining of the two. That's kind of the hard part.
yeah, yeah. And I we did not solve that today. Like we definitely thought we were going to.
No,
After 4 years of us arguing with each other, today was going to be the day where we would um find unity on that. It's almost 10:30. I'm an old ass man. I'm also drunk as shit, so I'm gonna start heading to bed. I want to say thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. I'm gonna make you sit here and listen to it because I'm an asshole like that. Don't you leave, Brad. Don't you leave. I see you trying to leave. Thank you,
no,
Will. William, thank you, Brennan, thank you, Jacob, thank you, Megan, thank you, Lucas, thank you, Brandon, thank you, Sean, Sloan, Ben, thank you, Christopher, thank you, Kayla, thank you, Ragnar, thank you, Courtney, thank you, Craig, thank you, Stephanie, thank you, Julie. I don't know who JK is. Oh, that's Josh. That's Carnage. Thank you, Josh. And thank you, Nikki. You guys are supporting me, helping me make sure that I put this shit on. Hopefully, I'm giving you back content that you love, or maybe you just love me enough to give me money for no reason. In which case, awesome. I hope I am deserving of that love. Um, Brad, thank you for being on with me for talking. This was hilarious and awesome, and I think we covered some good points.
no, really, I just backtracked that whole online post. I was like, no, I'm not really an asshole. I think both
Um,
mission accomplished, maybe.
maybe who fucking knows? I got drunk and had fun, so my mission was accomplished. I don't
Yeah, I moved my arms around a whole lot and did some funny
know.
stuff.
You taught me about guns. I like learning about guns. That was cool.
Yo, man. And see, that's the thing is, there's a lot of niche. God fucking damn
Niche. You had it. You
it.
were there.
Yeah,
Have faith in
not the guy of
yourself.
nihilism. Yeah, there's a lot of niche activities, and like, how do we not do the same shitty things that they did and end up like podunk as fuck like they all did?
Yeah, I think we're gonna though.
No, no. I will continue to fail at talking and selling ourselves
If you
until,
fail long enough, you have to succeed, right? That's the
yeah.
rule.
You know what? I'm just doing the Edison method. You know, I have to fail 1,000 times before like I fall on some rich dude's dick and he's like, oh yeah,
Uh,
here's some money.
Yo, I mean that's worked for me in like actual fighting, so I assume that works for money. I don't know. I've never
Falling on dick.
succeeded at money, so
Oh,
I failed
like wait.
at fighting a lot though, and that
Oh,
got
I
me
thought you
to.
were falling on a rich dick. I was like, yo,
I would
I
love
wish
to.
I
Yo, if
fight.
there's any rich dick watching, I will fall on you. Hit me up. Um, Brad will probably also fall on you. I don't know. I'm sorry
No,
for speaking for you.
I'll record it, put it on OnlyFans.
All right. Thank you, chat. I'm going to bed. Goodbye, everybody.